Okay. All right. What's going on, people? So, got some shoes in this here box. It's been a while since I sat down and did one of these. There's a time when it felt like I had boxes just coming in all the time. Also, real quick before I go getting started and whatnot, right now, a good friend of mine, Homegrown Kicks, he's doing his live talking about whatever he was talking about. Well, whatever he is talking about because it's still going on. Normally I would, try not to like do this while other people that I know are doing stuff, but I think he and I could probably both admit that there's not a whole lot of overlap in what we're here to talk about, right? So I think it's fine, right? But it is one of those things, and if anything, I think I've said that in the past when I like rushed through certain lives just to get them done quickly, so as to not have that overlap. But anyways, so this box comes in from the Less Than Jake store. It's a Vans shoe, right? It's a Vans shoe, sure, but it came from like Less Than Jake merchandise.com or something like that, which in some ways, as I say that, sounds a little generic and maybe like you should watch out and wonder if that's like for real or whatever. But yeah, that's a real thing. So this is the old school, right? So okay. Couldn't remember if this was going to be one of those like slip-ons. I couldn't remember if it was laced or not. So either way, this is for I think it's an EP, Uncharted. They put that out not all that long ago. I'm a big fan of the band, but I will say I have not heard this album, but I knew that I wanted these, so I bought them. And there's some stuff going on back there, sizing chart, and then some more stuff as far as just like box designs and whatever goes, right? Keep holding this all wrong, but whatever. So let's go ahead, open this thing up here real quick, see what's the hat. Oh, that is a strong smell. It's almost like opening a pair of foam posits or something. What is that? It's like, I don't know, like what do you call that stuff? Like you ever been around like nail polish remover or something like that? Whatever that chemical is, it's these aren't even laced. That is just dumb. Whatever. So either way, yeah, this right here, this is gonna be the Less Than Jake Vans Classic, whatever. What did I say? Skate Classic? Old school. I was so far off. It's like I read the box but retained none of it. The Vans old school, Less Than Jake, right? So everything looks like it's fine. Doesn't really matter if it is or isn't because I can't exchange these. They only made 450 pair, I believe. So if this doesn't work out, this just doesn't work out. Though I think they do still have size nines in stock, which this is a 9.5. But we'll see if that's a thing that even matters in a little bit. So first off, we're going to start down there with the bottom. So down there, that's what a lot of Vans look like on the bottom. I've heard it's like that for like having like grip on skateboards and stuff because this is kind of like a skateboarding shoe brand. Either way, moving on up here, midsole wise, got a little bit of Less Than Jake action going on over there. Whole lot of nothing going on over here, right? And then on the back, I've never been a fan of the way that looks. I just don't like the way it's not a clean flush thing back there. It's got like some sort of bandage thing going on. It's a minor thing. It's just like you complain about stuff sometimes, but you're not really complaining. You're just saying that you don't care for it. Either way, wow, that's soft. So down on here, right, got some sort of like a suede type of thing going on. It's not going to be anything fancy like some made in England New Balance or something like that. But it is feeling pretty decent for a $120 shoe. I can't remember exactly. So you got that. As you go over to the side here, we'll start over here because it's close for you guys. So that's going to be sort of a canvas sort of thing. It's not quite focused. There we go. It's kind of focused a little bit. So you got a canvas thing, and I believe that lines up with the album art, right, from the EP and all that stuff. So that's what's going on over there. Looks pretty decent, right? So it's just going to be colored in on the actual material. So that's that. And then to the back, on this one, you do have the Less Than Jake, like, dude logo. I don't know what they call that. And that is also going to be suede as well. Not quite as nice as the front, but on the heel, you kind of want it to be a little stiffer for like support and all that stuff. So it makes sense. This other one has the same exact logo. So, and if you don't look at it like directly, it almost looks like the Cody Rhodes thing. So moving along to the inside here on this side, same as the outside, right? Actually, these remind me a lot of those Where's Waldo Vans. I don't know who's watching this and how long you've been watching me, but a few years ago there was a Where's Waldo Vans. It was a slip-on if I remember correctly. And it was like the beach thing, and you just look around, there's a bunch of people, and somewhere in there was Waldo. Yeah, that's kind of what this reminds me of because it's got like that whole wraparound scenery thing going on. But anyways, we're on to this piece. Let's talk about that for a second. So over here, you just got this gold treasure thing going on, and a little bit of a map, sort of, or like the lines telling you like where to walk and all that stuff, right? All that. And then I didn't really mention it before because I was focused on the artwork, but I just really noticed you got the blue jazz line. I believe that's called a jazz line on the Van shoes. So you got that thing going on, and that is going to be in leather. So it's probably like some fake leather type of thing. I wouldn't imagine this is anything of a real high quality nature. So, anyways, moving on. Some typical flat white laces. Nothing fancy about that, but it works for what it's doing. Behind that on the tongue, same thing as you saw kind of on the sides and stuff. So you got more of that sort of canvas feeling. Doesn't feel like it's going to be the most comfortable thing, and honestly, it feels a little stiff up here. So as you're walking around in these, they might take a little bit of breaking in before this starts to feel pretty decent. So there's a thing about comfort. And then on the back, what is that saying? Something about Vans #1 skateboarding shoe, right? Yeah, world's #1 skateboarding shoe. And so now let me take out both of these little paper things because there's a picture on the inside, and I need to see if it's going to be the same on both of them, so I can let you know how that's working out. And it is the same. Actually, no, it's not. On the bottom end, it looks like it's going to be the same because it just says Vans. And this does say Pop Cush. That's a new one. I've seen the Eco Cush and the Comfy Cush, but the Pop Cush is a new one. So I'm not sure what that is. I'm guessing, based on like the whole Pop Shove It thing, maybe, that it could be just like some comfort, but they're like mostly for the skate shoes because a lot of the Cush type shoes that I've seen were more on like the casual side, like the corduroy Vans that I have, and something else. The Evo, what is that? No, I can't think of the name of it. It's like Evo something. Ultra Range EXO. That's not Evo XO. I was thinking Evo because I've been dealing with these Adidas lately. Anyway, so down there on the inside, you got the Vans thing, right? Same as you have on this one. But the thing is, like up on there, you have a compass, whereas on the other one, that is just like the less than Jake, right? So again, when I get around to doing an actual decent review, which hopefully will be tomorrow, there will be better pictures and stuff. And then as far as like the tongue goes, it is kind of like tied down. You got this little elastic piece in red. So pretty decent. So I will say I'm about to try these things on, and they're not laced, but I will say this. Normally, I feel like your typical Vans shoes, like this model and stuff, can be a little big fitting, right? But I went true to size anyways because I was like, maybe this one will be fine. I don't know. But it's been a thing in the past. And right off the top, from all the Cush type shoes that I've had in the past, those have all fit better because they actually have a nice, somewhat thick midsole to them or insole to them. So this should, if anything, fit pretty decent just based off of that. And it does, right? I mean, yeah, they're a little long. I can't pretend they aren't. But I'm also wearing these compression socks because I was supposed to be running right about now, and that's not happening. So, yeah, it's a whole thing. But for right now, I will say true to size is working out for me. I have a size 9.5 foot, bought size 9.5 shoes. It's a thing I do most of the time. There's not a whole lot of width going on. You kind of tell, it's not a whole lot of room in there side to side, but you do have a little bit more than you might expect from front to back. But I'm thinking like once I wear some like normal socks with these, it won't be so bad. And I don't think it's large enough to where you would want to go down a half. Sometimes you have like too much room and you can tell, okay, yeah, this is a little much. I feel that way about 12s, Jordan 12s, that is. But much like the Iniki Runner, I feel like if I was to go down to the 9 in these, that it would not be ideal. And one other thing that I'm noticing right now, like I said before, this piece right here, super stiff, not a huge fan of it because I'm not even really walking around right now and it's just all into my ankle and I'm just not thrilled about that. But otherwise, as far as the personal opinion goes, like I like them, it's a cool vibe to it, right? Nice sort of summer, spring type of thing. And that's where we are right now as far as seasons and stuff goes. So that's nice. I will say also, like, I have a bias towards Less Than Jake things. They are one of my favorite bands, easily. Seen them a bunch of times. I'll be missing their Circus Tour, which is unfortunate because Fishbone is on there and they're a fun band to see. But yeah, I like these a fair amount, so I have no complaints. And they were cheap. Well, 100, like I said, it was either 110 or 120. I can't remember exactly what the cost was, but not bad. And they actually stuck around in stock a little bit longer, I think, because this album compared to the previous Less Than Jake bands I have, like the Hello Rockview and the other ones, I think were just like an anniversary shoe, the black and green ones, right? I think I only have those other two. But those moved a little quicker, but I think people were a little more into those things like Hello Rockview and just the black and green ones. This one, maybe since people aren't so up on the album, maybe that's kind of why it sat around a little bit longer. I don't know. But either way, so that's that. Real quick, I'm going to talk about The Amateur. It's a movie that I saw today. I don't know if anybody's ever seen that, what was that, the Queen movie or Mr. Robot? It has that dude in there, you know, Remy something or other. So it's about some guy and like his wife gets killed, and then he's like, I'm going to go find who killed my wife, right? It's not all Jason Statham and style, you know, where it's just like straight up action because he's like just this little nerdy computer dude or whatever. So it's kind of him going to get his revenge and whatnot, but, you know, taking a slightly different approach because he has to work with what he knows, and what he knows is not just like running down, fighting people and breaking necks and whatnot. So now you're caught up on that piece. So anyways, the movie itself, right? It's a little longer. It's like 2 hours, right? But I've seen other things of this nature where like they shorten it down and then it just becomes a jumbled mess. Taking a little bit more time to let the story kind of lay out, and, you know, because it's nothing over the top or whatever. But sometimes you need that extra time so it just doesn't seem so rushed and crappy, because that's kind of how things can come off. Think like, what was that? Love Hurts, right? Though, I mean, sure, that story was just trash from the beginning, but it could have been a little better maybe if they hadn't just like rushed from scene to scene to scene to scene. Anyway, so this, you know, watching it all unfold, you know, it's pretty good. And to me, it moved at a pretty decent pace. If you're, again, looking for just like straight up action throughout the whole thing, it is not going to be for you. It's a little bit more on the story side, right? But it all ends up playing out pretty well, you know, so I had no complaints. I would recommend it. It's maybe not like the run out and watch it right now thing, but it's kind of like a put it on the list of things to do. And if you have time this weekend, you know, and you're not tied up with anything else, go check it out, right? If it's already on your list of things to do, cool, right? If it's not, and you're still on the fence about it, you can easily wait. You're not going to be missing a whole lot. A lot of movies tend to go to streaming services fairly quickly right now. It used to be more like close to the 90-day mark. Then it was like 45 days. Now it's like 2 weeks in some cases. It's kind of ridiculous to me, which is probably why people don't go to the movie theaters, because why? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be in your home like in a week or two. Just wait it out, right? Especially if you got a family. Anyway, so that's going to be that as far as like the shoes and the movie things go. That's the only movie that I've seen lately, right? I feel like it is. What was the last movie I saw? It was something bad. Oh, what was it? Screamboat. You know, like the movie with about like Mickey, like, and he's like Steamboat Willie, you know, but it's like open source now. Not open source. Public domain now, right? So now anybody can just do whatever they want with it. Man, that movie. I still do my little like movie review. Well, if you want to call them reviews, the one that I used to put in like my Instagram stories and stuff. I used to put them here too, but then YouTube changed how shorts works, and now I put them on Twitter. But you know, who's really using Twitter? You know. Either way, I got a few things to open up here. So if you were only here for the shoes or like the movie thing, this is your chance to, like, you know, move on and do something meaningful with your day. Otherwise, you can sit here and watch me open some action figures and comic books, because that's what's about to happen now. Also, if anybody is watching this, feel free to throw some questions down there and give me something to talk about while I'm doing this, past, you know, just whatever happens to be in these boxes, which honestly, I have no idea what's in a lot of these boxes, because most of these I'm pretty sure were pre-orders from like so many months ago. So at this point, it's just a surprise, you know? All right, let's see. First box. What is it? So this right here is a Lex Luger Ultimate Edition figure. I don't even remember this coming out, really. I mean, obviously it did. I actually met Lex Luger last year at GalaxyCon. Pretty nice dude, you know. And even for like an older guy, you know, his brain is still like super sharp and he like communicates clearly. Because I met also Jake the Snake this year, and who was it? Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler, all older dudes. Talking to them, like not Jerry so much, but Jim Ross and Jake the Snake were a little slower to respond. And I was like, man, that's unfortunate because you guys used to be like these idols to me. Anyway, so it does have the NWO title and like that big, was it like 14 pounds of gold or something title, whatever they call that. With like, it doesn't have like the dent in it, so it's not that one. But yeah, Lex Luger, ladies and gentlemen. I don't remember that figure at all, but I do like the Ultimate Editions. I haven't really been buying a lot of the elites lately. I couldn't tell you the last time I bought an elite, honestly. So, and I actually haven't even bought a lot of the ultimates, but I've mostly been looking at those because it's just easier on the bank account because you know I buy a lot of stuff, right? And I pay for all of it myself, so that gets noticed for sure. So sometimes just like cut back on things. Like you know what, I don't really need a lot of these figures that I keep picking up. Some of them are just kind of cool in the moment, then get forgotten about. Let's see. So this comes from Hobby Genki, I think. Yeah, it's one of those overseas retailers, like based out of Japan. So I buy stuff from them of certain brands, like Mafex and this. What is? I think this might be an SH Figure Arts one, or maybe it is Mafex. I honestly can't remember. But I buy stuff from them that's like Japanese in origin because it becomes so much cheaper. Even if I pay like the super expensive shipping, like DHL or FedEx or whatever it is from there, it's still cheaper to go that route than it is to go get it from like Big Bad Toy Store or something. So I mentioned before, I'm a fan of Spider-Man 2099. This is a Mafex Spider-Man 2099. It's hard to really see a whole lot in there because of the way the lighting is in here, but you know, if you're familiar with the character, then you kind of know what you're getting into. And he's got a couple extra heads in here, so that's always a nice thing to have, right? Got the one where his mouth is kind of out, the one where he's kind of like looking mean, and then the one where he's just kind of looking normal, I guess. Switching this around, it might make it a little easier to see what I have here. And of course, like that little webbing cape sort of thing that he has. I don't really know how to describe it other than saying that. But that's kind of what this is right here. See, like I said, those two heads, they do look pretty similar, but you know, if you look at the details, then you'll see a little bit of difference. But either way, so this right here, I feel like it was probably like a bit over 100 from like Big Bad Toy Store and stuff like that. But it was like 70. It's like, was it close to 70? Like, you know, just a basic without the shipping. And then the shipping had prices that started, I don't know, probably like $10 and went up to $30, I think. And again, that's coming straight from Japan. So the cheap shipping can take a bit, right? Because I think it's like boat shipping, perhaps. So if you want it, if you're in like a hurry, then that might not be your best bet. But the other thing is if you do pay for like the top dollar shipping, you get it in like a couple days after it ships, like within a week, you know, it's like 3 or 4 days, something like that. Let's see, what is happening here? Oh, yeah, okay. This comes from, so that means there should be another figure in here, right? Yeah. So this is any wrestling fans out there might recognize that guy. That's CM Punk, right? So this figure was released, well, went up for pre-order like forever ago. It's kind of one of those like older style like wrestling figures that you're used to like the 90s and stuff, where it's just like one solid piece and it didn't really do much of anything. You just kind of had to take it for what it was. So that's what's going on here. And they have made a good number of these things in the past, right? A lot of these you can buy right now from Pro Wrestling Tees, but originally they were on like the Zombie Toys, under their like Heels and Faces stuff, right? And so they would put things out there, and you just kind of have to like jump in, make your orders and whatnot. Sometimes they would have chases. I have a Chase Sabu and the regular one. I think I got the Chase one signed. It was like it wasn't a Chase. It was a New York Comic Con edition. So, you know, limited, but not a Chase. And then over here you have Larry, which is his dog. So this was the first time where like they made a guy and his pet, right? So as a fan of CM Punk, I thought, yeah, that's a good use of my money. I mean, looking at it now, is it? I don't think so, but it's kind of cool, right? So got that going on. Got another box here from Walmart with a figure that I probably also forgot I bought. Who knows? It could be anything. Let's see what's going on with this one. And it's a very large box too, which makes me wonder what shape this thing's going to be in. Because sometimes I get these things and they are just in the worst of condition. Oh, Triple H, huh? Interesting. So this is a Triple H figure, right? At first I saw like the RIP and I thought it was like a Rhea Ripley. And I'm like, I don't remember buying that for sure. But I could see how it would have happened because she's pretty all right. But then I saw it was a Triple H figure. And now I'm not going to sit here and say anything against Triple H, but I'm not a fan of him like that to where I would be just like buying a bunch of his figures. I already have one over there. So I'm not sure why I got this, honestly. It might have been a Walmart exclusive, and maybe that's what sold me on it. I don't know. Again, it's impulse buys a lot over here. So that's what's going on. I got the game over thing, got Triple H over here, right? Pretty basic figure. The one that I have over there on the shelf standing next to, where is that one? I think it's on the far end. I can't see who he's next to. So either way, I got that one over there. I think it looks better than this one. But now I have this one too, for reasons that made sense a few months ago. So there's that for you. If you're into that, I will say this though, as far as these Walmart exclusives go, at first they can be hard to come by, right? They sell out super fast, but then later they are just flooding the market. So if you missed out on like any Walmart exclusive or anyone that's coming up, don't be too worked up over it, right? Because you'll probably be able to get it fairly easily later. And even if it's not like readily available in your area, it's going to flood somebody's market. And then you can just pick it up on eBay more than likely. So I picked up this Imperium shirt. I was a fan of them. I remember the last time I went to Raw, they were like a big deal, right? The Mat is Sacred Imperium, right? And then this guy got fired recently, and which is weird because like they have this logo over his face now. But yeah, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to pick up this shirt before it disappears because obviously this Imperium thing isn't coming back, right? Which is unfortunate. But the two remaining dudes seem to be doing all right on their own right now. So that came from either Fanatics or the WWE shop. I will say on that note, since there's a big overlap in things that they sell, right? I would recommend going through the checkout process on both sites after you've loaded up your cart just to see which one comes out cheaper, because sometimes one will have sales that the other doesn't, or one will have shipping that is like higher than the other. So since they both sell the same stuff for the most part, maybe like completely when it comes to wrestling things, yeah, just go check out on both sites just to see what the final cost is on both of them, and then go with whatever makes sense. Okay, so this came straight from Shop AEW, and I do remember this because it was around like when they did the All in London, like the first one, I guess that's why it says that on the side, right? So this is going to be one of 3,000 Will Ospreay, and that's kind of what it looks like on the back, right? So you get some sort of idea of what's going on there. I don't see a whole lot of color, but it's back there. You can just barely see it. But yeah, I used to be really big into like the AEW lines. I was buying all the waves up until that one right there, which I think was, well, for the Unrivaled, I think I bought up to Series 12, and that's probably like maybe like 8 or 9 for the Unmatched. And then I just kind of lost interest, They did a weird release of something. I think it was the wave that had like the Butcher and the Blade in it, and like they didn't make the bunny as an easy to get figure. They made her like the Chase edition, and like the Chase figure of that. Usually the Chase one is just like, okay, this is the one that's like John Moxley, but he's covered in blood or something, So when they did that, I was like, you know what? I think we're done here. I don't even really like all these figures that much, because there were some that they made that looked really good, like the Lucha Brothers figures, like even from Wave. That's in like one of the first ones, like Wave probably like 2 or 3, because it's not. after they started making people a little darker, you know, because the first wave was like super bright. So that's probably like two or three. And those Lucha Brothers figures, every one that they had, solid, right? That top figure was a little questionable. The what was that team like? The Santana and Ortiz, also really good, right? Luchasaurus, that was a good one too. Yeah, some of the Kenny Omegas were pretty nice as well. The Darby Allens were always a hit. Like, can't say anything bad about those. What is some kind of Adidas running shirt? You know, that almost looks like leopard type print, but in blue. That's a weird sort of thing. But I saw it. It was on sale because, like, I don't know. I guess it was like some sort of birthday thing. What is this? And like it has some sort of like coupon code to use in case anybody's curious what like type of shirt that is. That says OTR, which is Own the Run, AOP for all over print, $55, right? I would not necessarily recommend paying the full 55 if you don't have to. I mean, unless you're like running around naked, in which case you probably do need a shirt. So yeah, sure, do it. But if you're not, if you already have clothes, then I'd wait for a sale, right? I'm a big sale guy myself. But maybe you make more money than me. I don't know. I don't know what your life is. I don't need to know what your life is either. It's only important to you, not so much to me. So you can keep that. But anyways, let's move on and see what's going on in this, which is some cards I bought from eBay. There's a couple things of cards in here that I bought from eBay. Oh, they did a really good job packing this. They had it all nice in here, all taped up and stuff, all good and whatnot. So some of you might remember I was doing these like card unboxing videos for a while, right? And what was it? The Marvel. This should be from the Marvel Masterpiece 92 Platinums, right? That should be what this is. Because I was trying to complete. Well, I completed my set, but then I was like super close to a second set, and I was gonna give that to my cousin. It just never quite happened. Okay, I'm not going to go through all these, but that's what all these are. So this should be about 20-something cards, something like that. They're all nice and wrapped up, got these little acrylic type case things and whatnot, you know, so very cool. And each one is a good stack. That one right there, I was talking to this guy like back and forth for a while because not like he was giving me a hard time, but I told him, I'm like, okay, I see you have all these things that I want. You have everything that I'm looking for, but do you happen to have any of the leader card? And maybe you just haven't updated your eBay listings yet. He's like, no, like I really just don't have any, but I have some cards on the way. So some are arriving on Friday. And so like I talked to him on the Friday. He's like, okay, yeah, I opened them up and I didn't see any in there. Just got through going through it, you know. And he's like, but I did get some more. So they'll be here like Monday or Tuesday. So just give me another couple days. So then he's like, hey, I did get one. Cool. Like, so if you want that, like, I'm going to put it up there and you can just order it right now with the other ones. And I'll, you know, discount the shipping when it's all grouped up. And so that's what happens. So I'm sure everything is here and accounted for. I will figure that out after the fact. But that completes the next set for that. And actually, I ended up with 3 because that's like the third set right there. And that set will be going to a friend of mine's son because, you know, he's into Marvel cards and, well, Marvel things and whatnot. And I figured he would like that. So that's kind of the end of that story, you know. Not a whole lot to it. I often say you got to spread the wealth, right? You could buy a bunch of stuff for yourself, and that's something, I guess. Or you could buy some stuff for yourself and some other people once in a while and, you know, put some good into the world because it certainly needs it. It's kind of trash lately, but that's another topic for another day. Actually, it's not another topic for another day. It's not going to happen because that sounds like a long, boring talk to me. And same thing, second burst, same as the first. This time around, we're looking at some Marvel Masterpiece XLs, which you might remember is the same as the Marvel Masterpiece 2016, just bigger. So these are 5x7s versus like your standard size card. That's like, I don't know, 2x3 or something maybe. So yeah. Pretty big difference, right? These right here, I was a big fan of them. I just hate the fact that some of these things are just like so hard to come by, you know? I feel like, let's see, which one? So this must be, so these are the ones where I ordered a bunch of what if cards from somebody. And then somewhere else I have, maybe that's what this other package is. a whole bunch of other ones of these. And the thing that sucks about these is like nobody bought them, right? You can buy like the hobby boxes and all that stuff super cheap. But because they did the ratios all weird, so like the lower numbers, like say 1 through 10 are like, you're gonna get like one of those for every like 2 or 3 cards, right? But then you get to the higher numbers, like where Wolverine is, and you got to go through like, I don't know, like 15 to 20 packs to like find one, And I'm just like, this sucks a lot, right? And since nobody bought these things, the few people that have those cards can sell them for some crazy prices. And well, me being me, I'm just like, you know what? I'm tired of looking for these things. I don't want to pay this, but I'm going to pay it because whatever. And so here's these other ones, right? So see if I can get on into this real quick. So this one is going to be the more expensive lineup, I believe. What? And right off the top, it looks like they sent me something wrong. So that's not ideal. I'll have to go back and look into how that came to be. Because the thing is, I didn't want any of the special cards, right? Like the gold ones and all that stuff, where they have like gold labeling on them. I'll show you in a second. I'm just trying to get this tape dealt with. So standard ones are like this, right? You got the silver up there, right? Silver border. Look on the back, pretty plain, right? The gold one, where was it? I just saw it. It was like Dr. Octopus. There it is. The gold ones, obviously big gold sticker. Well, if the lighting wasn't weird, big gold sticker right about there. Gold border all around. You can kind of see it a little bit. Actually, this one doesn't have I thought they had gold borders too, but I guess not. But then on the back, down there, it also says "What if gold" and it's numbered, right? I don't want numbered ones. I want just the basic ones. So I'm gonna have to talk to this dude and see, what happened there. And this Wolverine, these 2 Wolverines right here, these are what I was talking about. I think these ended up being like $30 a piece or something like that, just for these 2 cards, like 30 and 30. So this whole thing was like, I don't know, it was a lot. I wasn't thrilled about it, but again, nobody's making me pay for this stuff. Like, it's eBay. You could easily just like not buy it, right? Or you can maybe shoot in your best offer. Me, I didn't do any of that. I just accepted the fact that I was going to be unhappy about it and moved on. Because sometimes it's just easier. Like, I'm just going to avoid all the hassle. I'm just going to do this now, right? I'll sit here and I'll say it later how I'm not thrilled about it, but at the same time, again, this is my own decision. So how much complaining can I really do? So let's go ahead and get on into this. Like, I've never seen tape like this until I started buying these cards. It seems like everybody that's selling stuff like this, at least that I bought, is using one color or another. It's pretty convenient, though. I will say that. It's like easy to cut through. Oh yeah, this guy, I did an unboxing of these online, or not online, but in one of my videos, and yeah, this one did not quite work out how I wanted it to, because he sent me the wrong one. Then he sent me the right one, but at the same time, I had other cards that I was opening, and so that one ended up being one of the ones that I opened up, and I'm like, oh well, I have this now, but I mean, he was nice about it, and so now I have 2 or probably more, because who knows how many of those things I have. All right, let's see. Got 3 boxes of comic books here. Let's see what's going on in these. This first one comes from Tyler Kirkham. If this is the last order that I remember making from him, this one should be pretty all right. But let's see, because maybe it's not. Sometimes you buy stuff and it's pre-orders. Yep, this is not what I was thinking it was, but it's still pretty all right, though. So some time ago, I bought a 9 comic set, 333, right? Makes this big danger room thing, right? But then I found out that they had this comic book. I think this is X-Men number 13 or something like that, 12. So they have this one comic that just condensed all the covers right into it. So I'm like, well, I'm going to get that. And it was on Unknown Comics. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll pick it up there when it's on sale. And then they had a sale and it sold out. And I was like, well, I guess I wasn't quick enough, because I was actually running. I was doing a I think it was a 5K that day or something. I don't remember what it was. I was running. I saw the message from my coworker about the sale. I checked it later. This was gone. So I was like, whatever. I'll just go buy straight from the dude's webpage, right? Because then I can get it signed, So it's signed now. And so then, like a few days later, Unknown Comics releases more of their stock and it's like, hey, we have a bunch of stuff back in stock and the sale's still going on, but I already bought this. So whatever. But yeah, it's very cool. I do like this. Should bring that in real quick. You got Nightcrawler. Let's out this way. Rogue, Storm, and Beast, right? You got Bishop, Wolverine, Magneto being front and center, sort of. Gambit, Cyclops, Mr. Sinister, who's a personal favorite. Got Cable down in there, not quite focused, but you kind of get what I'm going with. Sunspot and Jean Grey. So that's what's happening as far as that cover goes. Set that over there. All right. This comes from eBay. So this is probably a Magic cover because I have been buying so many Magic covers. Like even the guy at the comic book store is like, hey, you here for some more Magic covers or something, dude? He's like, I mean, I got some if you want one. I'm like, yeah, sure. Because I don't really follow the releases of these things. Oh, so this is wrapped around one of these priority mail things, so that's convenient. But yeah, because I don't really follow a lot of the actual releases, like week to week. I just go to the comic book store and whatever they have, I just look through the thing and just walk out with whatever makes sense to walk out with. After I've given him whatever amount of money they need. I'm not stealing stuff anyways. All right, so what is going on here? This is awkward, kind of. So are they both? What is this? All right, so that's just cardboard. And this right here is just this, I guess. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how he was doing this. But anyways, I'll just show you this. So you got this. It's a Magic one, right? That's what's going on there. So there should have been another one in here, but I think it's just like in the package or something. Yeah, it looks like that's kind of what's going on. That's why it's so thick. But anyway, so the other one is going to be the same thing, but without this, right? The Virgin style one. And it probably won't say Magic on there either. But either way, so I saw this. I wanted it. It was out of stock by the time I found out that it existed. So I saw somebody on eBay. I knew that they cost like $30 retail, and the guy was trying to sell them for like $40, and I was like, I'll give you $30. And he's like, let's do it. So that's what happened. So not as expensive as some of those Dazzlers that I bought. Like I think I spent like, well, or even some of the Magics. I think the most expensive one was probably, it was like 200 and something. And I was like, whatever. I think sometimes you're just like, you're not thinking about it. You know that you want it, so you just buy it for some crazy price. All right. Let's see. Who's this from? This is Big Time Collectibles. So I am not sure what is going to be in this one because I bought a lot of stuff from them and I think they shipped it all together. And some of it may have been pre-ordered, so some of it may not even be out yet. Because, obviously, as you're seeing here, if you've been paying attention, it's been a lot of stuff. And it's not like this stuff all showed up today. This has been piling up on the floor for weeks. Basically, since the last time I sat down and did one of these, because I don't do them as often as I should. I wait until my living room is a mess, and then I do one, It's kind of the way I do that. Very reactionary sort of deal. All right, so a stack of comics here. Let's get this tape ripped off here real quick. See what's going on with these. And there's that. Okay, so now, let's see. And that's just the backing. So, apparently this was one of those. See, this is what I was talking about, right? So sometimes I'll get something where it's like the standard, but also the Virgin one. So then it just doesn't have any wording on it. I saw this one and had a lot of my favorite people all in the one picture. So I thought, yeah, let's do that. And if this is the Amazing Spider-Man #1, I want to say this is the one where what's it? Where like they show where the Rhino. Well, he's not on the cover. Well, they show the Rhino and he's like living in Seinfeld's old apartment. And I saw that the other day online. I was like, hey, I'm gonna buy that issue of whatever that is. But then I realized, like, you know what? I think I already have that somewhere. So same thing here. They redid Batman, so Absolute Batman, right? Restarting a line. The other lines are probably still going on or something too. But this is the first appearance of the Joker and Bane, which are two of the guys from the Batman world that I like a lot. The third being Riddler. Everybody else is just kind of everybody else, but those are the three ones that I care to see. I mean, because Bane, because he's got like the whole wrestler thing going on, and I mean, who doesn't like the Joker? And the Riddler's always just been a cool guy to me, you know. That's just always what I thought. And last, certainly not least, Predator versus Wolverine #1. So this cover here, they've done that before. This, but it had like the Hulk, I think it was, in the reflection. This time around, it's him with the Predator guy, and on this one, you have Predator with the claws out, and he's got Wolverine in the reflection. So I saw this, and I've been wanting to buy it for like so long because it's been on my little shop thing, you know, my little shop cart, because I use my little shop dollars, and I finally did it with that order, right? So now this is the last of it. This is like the last 3 weeks worth of comics. So the ones, they're all in these bags from like whatever week that I bought stuff. So if I've been sitting these down like over the last while, these will be like the most recent week down to the farthest week back. So last week, that would be these, right? And I picked up, okay, looks like it was a light week, I guess. So this Venom #5, right? Where they, or all new Venom #5, where they debuted who was Venom. And this, they had like 5 different covers of 5 different people with their faces, but I think Mary Jane is like the actual Venom, from what I recall. So I bought this one. It's a little variant one. I forget. I don't know what the ratio is or anything, but it was $20 at the store. So that usually means it's like a little more sought after than the others, by just a smidge, anyways. I also picked up this right here. So this is the next week, or the last week before that. I have this poster in my room. I don't know if that has ever been talked about or shown, but about 24 by 36 inches of this on my wall. See that every day when I wake up and before I go to sleep. It's a very cool picture, right? It's got the whole foil thing and all that stuff. Very nice. I saw the comic book because a friend of mine was going through all the bins trying to find a specific issue. He's like, hey, check this out. And I'm like, yeah, I will check that out right at the register. And again, The Amazing Spider-Man, like I was saying, I was feeling pretty sure that I had bought this issue already. I just didn't really realize that I bought that thing with the Sinister Six on it. So this one, you can't tell, but the webbing is kind of a foil thing, so it's going to have like a little bit of shine to it. So that's kind of cool. And this one is just like a standard variant, but it was the better looking art of all the ones that I saw there. This one, I mean, it's foil, you know, that's kind of cool. It's shiny, you know. It makes me sound like a child, and I get that, but hey, man, that's my life. What is this? Okay, Wolverine Revenge #5 and also #5. So the red band edition, right? So it's going to be like R-rated type of stuff going on in this one, whereas this one is not, but it had a cool photo, or not cool photo, but I liked the look of it, so I picked it up as well. They're both the same issue, you know, they're both #5, but again, this one is just going to have a little bit more going on inside of it. Not saying that that's the only reason I bought them. Like, even if they were both the standards as those Spider-Mans, I still would have bought them because that's just kind of how things work around here. All right. Oh, these are the boards, because they gave me the boards because, you know, they didn't feel like putting them in them for themselves. So this is a 3D comic. You can't quite tell until you really get on in there. Yeah, so I was just kind of talking about this. It's a 3D thing. Now on the back, it's, at least to me, it's a little more easy to see. See, that's why it's not quite like focused and all that stuff. And somewhere in here, like right about here, are the actual 3D glasses. And it also says down there includes 3D glasses. So every so often they do these 3D comics. I have 2 of them, maybe 3. I have 2 that I can think of, but I feel like it's been going on long enough that I probably have a third. All right, some more magics, right? So this is what, 4? No, 3. This is issue number 3. So this is one of those cases where it's the same comic, different covers. So there's that. I'm not sure who did which ones or whatever. I also have a sideshow poster coming in of Magic. So I don't know where I'm going to put that, but it was like the David Nakayama thing that I've spent a lot of money on recently. So now I have that picture in the form of a poster, in the form of a comic, and in the form of a comic box. So I think I'm all tapped out on that one now. And hey, okay, so I forgot that this happened. This is another one of those 3D glasses comics. So this is definitely this is 3 that I know of, which means I probably have a 4th one. So yeah, wraparound cover, right, from that old X-Men thing. So which means there should be a 3rd panel right about here with Storm on it and all that stuff. And a 4th panel right about here with Magneto on it. Includes the 3D glasses as it says back there. So that's cool. And that's just a backing. And Doctor Strange of Asgard. I saw this and I thought to myself, that sounds interesting. I'm going to buy issue number 1. So that way when I see this many months later, probably like a year later, when I'm going through and like reorganizing my boxes, I'll see this. All the issues will be out and I'll be able to read them on the Marvel Unlimited. That's the game plan, right? So this is just kind of a future reminder so that I don't forget, because it seems like it could be interesting. Not a huge fan of the art. Something about it just was a little bit odd to me. No real complaints. I mean, it's a well done picture. I can't fault it for that, you know. Just if I was looking for, like, say, a poster to fill some space on my wall, this would not be the one. It would not. And it was mostly just Doctor Strange, because Thor looks fine. Something about his face is just makes me not want this on anything. But I'm interested to see where this is going. So there we go. There's that. There's all the stuff that I bought. Real quick recap. This whole thing started with a pair of shoes. Less Than Jake. Old school. Got it that time, right? In the Uncharted colorway, I guess you could call it, because it's based off of their Uncharted EP that they put out not too long ago. So if you're into ska punk type music, well, check it out. It's probably all right. I'm a big fan of the band. I bought these shoes without knowing anything about the album, but I'm sure the album is fine. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. I'm going to leave this, go stand over there, talk about the amateur for a minute, and throw some low effort video onto the internet with a whole lot of other low effort videos that are on the internet. It's a thing that's happening nowadays, people. Thanks to anyone who showed up and whatnot. What is this? I was wondering who got a pair of Less Than Jake Vans. Okay, so I'm just now looking at this stuff and I see it's all talking about the Less Than Jake shoes. So yeah, some of them are still in stock in some sizes. But go on and check out the webpage then, and you know, hopefully that works out for you and whatever your shoe size may be. All right, thanks for showing up and listening to my rambles and rants over the last 48 minutes. That's a long time. Goodbye, people.